Hello and welcome to the Chris Burkmenn Experience. I'm so excited to have blogger and author here, single woman, Mandy Hale.
Yes.
I'm so excited. We've been trying to get this together for a long time.
Yeah.
So just talk to me about your year. I mean, how was your New Year's?
It was good. Actually, I usually just hang out with my family on New Year's Eve. So that's how I welcomed 2014 this year. And I think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
I just feel like 2014 is going to be kind of a year of completion, and just a lot of things are going to really start to come together for everybody, not just me. So
Yeah, well, 2013 was a huge year. I mean, you had the success of your book,
Right.
which came out in
August. Beginning of August.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about that process, just even writing it and even coming out with it.
Yeah, well, book one was really, called The Single Woman, Life, Love, and a Dash of Sass. And it was really sort of a culmination of blogs I had written in the past. I was able to pull from material that I'd already written, and then I was able to kind of supplement where there was new material needed. And it really was just meant to be sort of a broad look at single life and just all the areas that I feel like single women in their 20s and beyond struggle with. And so it was really just such a joy to put together and to put out there. You never know when you're a first-time author what's going to happen, but the response has just been overwhelming, and the emails I've gotten from women telling me how it's just completely changed their perception on single life. It's just been such a blessing.
Yeah, and it's such a niche, it's such a special kind of thing to be drawn to people, because there are so many single people in the world,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the percentages, but I know there's a lot of, there's probably more single people than married people now. And so I feel like the more that, pop culture sort of portrays single life as this negative thing and this, women clawing and fighting each other for one man and, or just all this overly dramatic, crazy stuff. I think the more that's the way that single life is portrayed, the more that people are sort of flocking to the positive look at single life. And that's really what I've tried to do. Just give women and men, for that matter, a reason to say, you know what, you're single, but that's okay. And you are obviously very brave, and you're unwilling to settle in your life in any area, and just, be happy and be excited and be proud of that. Don't walk around with your head hanging in shame. So yeah, I think women and men have really connected to that message.
Yeah, and that's what's so special, is because you were drawn to the women, but in this process you even gotten some men following you.
Yeah, it's been it's been a little wild, because I do get a lot of messages from men, and occasionally I'll get messages of men trying to hit on me, or I get messages from men that are not so nice. But overall, it's just been such an amazing thing. Like, a guy sent me a picture of himself in front of the Christmas tree. It was this very, very rugged man.
Burly.
I mean, he wasn't like he just looked very like a man's man. And he's holding my picture, or my book in the picture, and he has the book with a pink stiletto on the cover, and he's like, I asked for your book for Christmas. And I was like, that's just hilarious. And I admire men who will go into a bookstore or hold up a book with a pink stiletto on the cover and say, this book is so great. It's been amazing to see.
Yeah, and that's funny, because I was even going to bring up the point, because he was in front of the tree taking a photo. You had a promotion campaign of people taking photos of your book in certain places.
Well, that turned out that was just an idea of mine that I just came up with as a fluke, and really, honestly, for selfish reasons, that I wanted to see my book in all these different locations. So I said, hey, if you're somewhere cool, or wherever you live, if you'll snap a picture of yourself holding the book, or the book in front of wherever. So I actually ended up getting a picture of the book in front of the White House, in front of Freedom Tower in New York City, in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I saw that.
And then one person went and actually snapped a picture of my book in front of Carrie Bradshaw's apartment in New York City, where they filmed the show Sex and the City. And so yeah, that was really just kind of one of those things that I put out there, and then everybody who's seen it has been like, this is so cool, this is such a great marketing strategy. And I'm like, I just wanted to see pictures of my book in front of all these cool places. So, and I think when women are able to kind of see like all the other women in all these different places, it just gives them a sense of camaraderie. And I feel like that singleness can be very isolating, and it can make you feel like sometimes you're just walking through the world all alone. And so I feel like this book, and hopefully my message in general, has just given women and men the feeling that, single people, that they're not in this alone, and that they have friends, and that they have people on the journey with them, and that we're all in this thing together.
Yes, and it's making impact because you have memes and quotes out all over online.
Yeah.
And one when we really first connected was Brian Seacrest had quoted you, which was
Yeah,
huge.
you pointed it out to me.
I did. It was crazy.
And I remember you posting that on my wall, and I literally almost fell out of my chair. I was like, okay, a lot of really exciting people have quoted me, but I mean, Ryan Seacrest, he's like the rare Hollywood unicorn. And so I just, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so when I see my quotes, I just recently finally set up a Pinterest account.
That's great.
And, I just was searching inspirational quotes, and the first page I came across like 6 or 7 of my own. And then I've seen people who have dedicated entire Pinterest pages to Mandy Hale quotes, and I'm like, this is insane. So it's been, I honestly just have been completely blown away by it. It's been incredible.
Yeah, and speaking of the Pinterest, I put one of your quotes on mine, and I mean, it's gotten over 200 repins, which is crazy. So when you said you didn't have a Pinterest, I thought you really need to get one.
Yeah, well, I always reserved, early on I reserved the names on Tumblr and Pinterest and all, the single woman, but I just had never done anything with it. So I finally logged in. I was like, hey, this is cool, and I have like 2,000 followers, and I've never even done anything. But yeah, I can definitely see how Pinterest can be very, very addicting, and all the fun stuff that's out there. It's just, wow, social media just amazes me.
It does. And I mean, you are social media queen. I mean, in ranking, I saw a posting that said in Nashville, the top 10, you were 8. Is that correct?
I think it's number 8.
Amazing, because Carrie Underwood was number 1.
Yeah.
So to be on that list, that's a big deal.
Yeah, definitely in very good company. And I didn't even, again, that's one of those things that I didn't even know that it was going to be in. It was the Nashville Business Journal, and somebody sent me a link and said, hey, you're on this list. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's amazing how social media just really helps connect the dots. And it just, as you've learned with what you're doing, it just helps you have this whole opportunity to be able to, market what you're passionate about and share with people your dreams, and it just, I don't know, I just think it's such an amazing world.
It is, and we're finding out that we each have the ability in Twitter, Facebook, and any social media outlet that we can impact greater than we think, because a share, a like, a comment can stem so many more people. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like that people are really hungry for positivity, and as hard as it is for maybe you or I to imagine, some people literally, the only positivity they're getting all day is through Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever it may be. And I know that, you've really taken, a similar approach to what I do, which is the positive quotes and the just putting inspiration out there in the world. And I think it's so needed. And it's just, it really just gives people who's, somebody who might feel like they're walking through the world alone and just really sad and discouraged, to be able to log on and, something as simple as a tweet, 140 characters can just turn it all around. And I actually got an email a couple of weeks ago from a girl who, she was very sweet and just so transparent and so vulnerable in her email. And she said, I just wanted to let you know that I was close to ending it. Like literally. Wow. Literally, she was, dealing with some serious depression issues, and she went to the library and stumbled across my book, and she said, it just completely changed my perspective. So thank you for putting this out there in the world. And, again, a kind word, a smile, a helping hand, you never know what that person's going through. And even a tweet can literally just change their entire perspective.
140 character can change their life. Yeah.
It literally can change lives. It changed my life. So I know that it can change other people's lives.
And definitely have been an inspiration. You have poured into my life, and which has helped me pour into other people, and your strategies, and I've really applied them. So definitely owe you that. So I'm so thankful for your friendship.
Yes, of course. And I love that. Who was I talking to the other day? I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were discussing you actually. I was like, Chris is such a teachable, like he's just such a learner. You're one of these people who, you just want to pick up cues from other people and ideas, and helpful hints, and you want to just learn everything you can learn about about the business and about what you can do to, to be able to share your message with the world. And that's a really important thing to have. So a teachable spirit is so very important. And so I love what you're doing, and I think that you have the right attitude to absolutely just skyrocket to success.
Very humbling, thank you. But I'm excited because March 11th, the new book comes out.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot put into that. There's some little me in that trailer, but we'll talk about that. But
Chris proposes to me in the book trailer. Well, he doesn't really propose, but you'll see. We're already starting to really ramp up the PR campaign. And what's interesting about book 2 is it's really more personal to my story. It's literally just the first book was more anecdotal and just sharing different, letting go and moving on, relationships, friendships, career, following your dreams. But then book 2 is really my story, and it's my journey starting at age 18 up until, now. And so I was able to really share my heart in a very deeply personal way. And it's really all about, the journey to happily ever after, and how you don't always end up where you planned, but you always end up where you're supposed to be. And so it's called I've Never Been to Vegas, but my luggage has.
The best title, I think, ever. I laugh every time I think of it.
I am very, very, I've had a dream, literally a dream for 10 years to have a book called I've Never Been to Vegas, but my luggage has. And I had to actually fight for that title a little bit, because I think my publisher was like, what? No. But now they're like, okay, I'm so, this is so awesome. And everybody has reacted to the title like that. And the opening chapter actually explains why my luggage has, in fact, been to Vegas, but I have not. So so I'm so excited about it. I think it's just going to give women just a whole new way to connect with the message, and hopefully, a little inspiration in their own journey, that, your journey doesn't have to look like everybody else's, and you can still have a really amazing life. And, regardless of whether you have somebody, there romantically or not, you can still just have an amazing life filled with love and laughter and magic and dreams come true. And so I'm so excited about it. So excited. I
mean, I'm so excited. It's a great book. I've read some of it. I have the manuscript, and it's just great. I love, yes. I mean, it's just neat to be a part of it. And, with the success coming of the new book and everything. So there's so many steps being put into place. 5 years from now, where do you see the Single Woman blog? Where do you see yourself? And what do you want to do?
I definitely see more books. I have ideas for more books, and I think the Single Woman brand is one of those things that I would really like to eventually just get to a point where it's bigger than me. Even, I mean, it is obviously centered on my journey and my story, but I feel like there's such a need for more outlets for single women. So whether that looks like a radio show, or I've been pitched ideas of reality shows, talk shows, just doing all these different things. I just think really the sky's the limit. And so wherever I can carry the message on whatever platform and whatever media or whatever format that might be, I just really want it to reach all the single women of the world, and just really give them a sense of confidence and hope and inspiration. So just open to whatever, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And, who knows, maybe I won't even still be a single woman in 5 years.
Right.
We will see. But I will always, speak to the heart of singleness, and hopefully I'll have a really amazing happily ever after story to be able to share with my readers and followers that will inspire them in their own journey. But, we'll see.
Well, it will, and you're the positive role model. You're bringing God into the dark. There's so much dark in the world, and you're just being that positive role model.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, and I thank you. I thank you because people that follow me find out about you, and so they're drawn to you, and so there's that message. And I'm so thankful that you came today, and we got to talk, and we've been trying for so long. So I'm really excited. So. But I do have someone we need to shout out to. So Alex Edwards, he entered our contest for our street team. So we have to shout Alex Edwards out. So thank you so much, Alex Edwards. We're so appreciative of you, and we thank you for your support. Twitter, he's created his own Twitter page for us. So it's amazing. But this is actually our first episode sponsored. So it's huge for us. making this show possible. They're bringing it to the viewers today. L&L Plumbing from Smyrna. So it's huge. It's such a big thing, and the sky's the limit. We're looking for sponsors daily, and there's information. You can email me and just be a part of the episode. So we're so excited that you stopped today, because L&L Plumbing is the reason. So thank you. Thanks, Mandy.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Until another experience, thank you for watching the Chris Burkmenn Experience. See you next time.